Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Arsenal podcast. I'm your host Danyaal. I'm here with my boys Tamim. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. Well, not so good after the weekend, but as good as I can be. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, feeling pretty good about this weekend's results. If I'm honest, if I could bottle up this weekend's results and take it with me to every match day going forward, I'll be a very, very happy man. Dog, how are you?
Well, aside from the fact that United lost 3-1 to the budget Chelsea, I've just come back from Birmingham. I fell asleep on the train. I'm tired, I'm hungry, my feet are hurting. Aside from that, I'm feeling pretty good, man. Hope you're doing okay as well.
Hopefully, this chat will give you a bit of therapy as you listen to. Well,
I'm sorry. Sorry, are you Angelina Jolie? What are you talking about giving me therapy, man? Come on, let's crack on. Let's move on with this, man. Spare me enough pain.
Okay. The only place to start, I guess, is in what kind of Gary Neville called this weekend a bit of a swing in the title race. So we've got Liverpool losing on Saturday against Crystal Palace. Eddie Nketiah with a 97th minute dagger to the hearts of the Scousers. I have to say, like, when I saw Palace were 1-0 up, I was in the gym at the time. I was like, as usual, Liverpool come back, it'll end up being like a 2-1 or something. So I didn't really bother. I had one kind of glancing eye on the City match because I had Haaland as triple captain this weekend. So I was like, I'm not going to bother getting my hopes up with the Liverpool victory, especially after the 5 or 6 last minute winners you guys have had. And then it got to 84 minutes. I was like, actually, Palace might do something here. And of course, as soon as I tune into your game, Chiesa gets the goal from a dubious hand of Salah. Who we call that VAR rule legitimate.
I don't think it touched his hand. I'll have to watch it again. I mean, maybe my eyes were playing up.
Elliot in the Arsenal Vision post-match podcast, he called it Schrodinger's handball. Like, if you want to see a handball, you can see a handball. If you don't want to see a handball, you won't see a handball. Obviously, there's screenshots of Salah handling it. But regardless, it's 1-1. You just fully expect Liverpool to get that winner, especially as they put up 6-7 minutes of added time. Yeah, I mean, you weren't watching a live time, were you?
No, I was at work this Saturday. Well, I work every Saturday, but yeah, I was watching bits of it though. In between work, I was putting up the game, and I could see sort of what kind of was going on in like 5-minute spells. But yeah, no, it just sounded terrible, to be honest. Especially that first half. Like, apparently Alisson kept it a respectable scoreline. Yeah. Alice, I obviously saw the highlights, and his saves were good. So yeah, it sounded like what I kind of expected before the game in terms of how the setup would be. Us having most of the ball, Palace sit back and counter, and not having a dig at Palace. It was obviously a great setup, probably the best way to set up, and they've been doing that to us for a long time now. Even when we lost last season 1-0 to them, it was basically, sit back, wait for the counter opportunities. And they're, one of the best teams in the league to do such an approach. Maybe the best team in the league to do such an approach. They've been unbeaten since April last year. So
18 games. 18 games,
yeah. Long time. Yeah, that's crazy. Amazing for Glasner and the team, isn't it? So I was quite worried going into this game. Definitely, I was very worried, and I just had a bad feeling, like I said, just going into this game because they've been our bogey team for a long time, and they've been in good form as well in general. So
sorry to cut you up, Tamim. One kind of crucial thing that we kind of skipped over. So in midweek, Liverpool played Southampton at home. Again, also needing a late winner. And Ekitike taking his shirt off and getting sent off I think had a big impact on this weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
Alexander Isak not being fully fit to go 90 minutes.
Thrust into it.
I think if Ekitike was available, then he probably starts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, again, one time when I was switching over between the City match, again very early on in the second half, Isak had a bit of a chance. You expect him to score. There was a bit of a challenge that went in on him, and then he kind of scuffles the shot kind of wide at that point.
He did very well to gauge that position, but should have scored.
You
good
expect the
highlight
net to kind of bulge at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still 1-0, and I think all kind of what Palace deserved at that point. I mean, what was going through your head when it was 1-1 after Chiesa got that goal? Like, did you think you go on and win it?
Yeah, based on the last few games, I did think, oh, look, here we go again. This is following the same script. We're going to get a 95th winner. But someone did get a late winner, and it wasn't us this time. Probably a bit of karma or a bit of medicine, for us to taste. So
as Goldbridge would say, right? Justice jam on toast? Yeah.
I've not heard that from him, but to be fair, I did think with the amount of last minute winners we've had and just how we seem to always turn it around in the second half, because regardless of how bad we were that first half, when I was watching bits of that second half and even the stats in the second half, we did. To be fair to us, Slot switched it up a little bit, and we looked much better in the second half. And there's a few opportunities where we should have scored, but we didn't. It looked like Salah had a poor game. Isak should have done better with that chance. And the Ekitike red card is a big thing, but it's not an excuse to lose the game still, because we, in theory, we still should have more than enough to win, especially with the big signings of like Wirtz as well. But again, no goal or assist and it's not all about the stats, but ultimately you pay a big price, and you do expect good numbers at the very least to come out from a player like Wirtz. It's no good looking good in flashes. It's no good having some nice touches there and there. You have to impact the scoreline, and I think that can be excused. He's obviously missed a pre-season and slowly being bedded in. He just started because of Ekitike's red card, so no misgivings for Isak, and he looked good. I think he'll come good, of course. I still think Wirtz will come good as well. I think it'll take Wirtz a bit longer. He's not a Premier League proven player. He's got to
007
strengthen up slightly.
007.
007.
Zero goals, 0 assists.
Oh,
he has that infamous
he's our
title,
James Bond, mate.
sadly.
Yeah, he's our James Bond. He's got to take one for the team. But hopefully he'll look back on the James Bond title when he's lifting the Premier League at the end of the season. Yeah.
Ooh, fighting talk. So
with a one
Eddie
loss.
scores.
Yeah.
Eddie scores. I'm jumping up and down with my daughter, and I see it goes to a VAR review. I'm like, flipping hell, man. Liverpool are just going to get out of this. So lucky.
Conspiracy mind came.
Thankfully it stood.
Came into fruition there.
Thankfully it stood, and it teed up for Sunday's match day with Newcastle versus Arsenal. I have to tell you, man, like I was absolutely bricking it before the game happened. Like a good hour before, I was really, really nervous, and like unexpectedly nervous. Like this wasn't like a title decider. This wasn't like a cup final or anything like that. But I was super, super nervous because, again, it felt like a pivotal weekend, and we've had some demons there going to St James Park, going back to when we were going for top four a few seasons back against Spurs, and Arsenal needed to win to make top four, and then Newcastle ended up beating us 2-0. And it's had this sort of kind of derby feel, this derby sort of atmosphere every time we face Newcastle, every time we go there, and obviously we've had matches like the Disgracia game when Arteta basically lost it with the officials over that Joe Linton goal. When the ball went out, and then last season Arsenal had a very, very bad showing there, barely mustering a shot on target. So it felt massive, it felt big, and all eyes were on our lineup. How will Arteta line up? What's he going to do in terms of, is he going to start Mourinho again? Is he going to go for it? Will he play with the handbrake? Thankfully, from the Arsenal perspective, he started Saka, he started Eze. Maybe the only surprise was the fact that Christian Mosquera started instead of Saliba. And when he was asked about in his pre-match interview, he did say that obviously he was trying to manage Saliba's ankle injury. So the game starts. Arsenal based on the ascendancy. Eze has a few shots from outside the box. Pope makes a good couple of saves. Arsenal go on the counter-attack. Eze plays a lovely chip ball through to Saka, who puts Victor Gyökeres through. Gyökeres goes through. Pope essentially clears out Gyökeres. There's a bit of delay, and Jared Gillett points to the spot. Now I was screaming penalty, absolutely screaming penalty, and I didn't expect it to get overturned. I saw you posted on our WhatsApp chat. Danyaal was actually raging through the WhatsApp. I can feel him fuming right now.
You were, weren't you?
Like, Gary Neville was like, Gary Neville was like, initially, that's definitely a penalty, Stonewall penalty. Now, I want to go through some of the analysis that I heard, especially on Match of the Day yesterday. So Joe Hart, being a goalkeeper, he obviously was backing Pope, and he went with the PGMOL's kind of explanation as to why they decided to overrule this pen. The fact that Pope stopped himself from going into Gyökeres, he stops his motion, and he allegedly gets a nick of the ball. But before I give my views on it, what's your take, Tamim? What's your take, Dog?
Sorry, Dog. Yeah, I'll go. Go on. I think, I don't know. It's a tough one because it did look like Pope got the ball. And it's not like he got the ball after he did the foul. He got the ball first. And then
I have a point on that.
And it, yeah. So, I personally, it was a tough one. It's a tough one. I think just where he did touch the ball, I felt like that was enough to overturn it. And maybe I'm being biased, but I'm trying to look at it as neutral as I can. But yeah, just when he got the ball first, that's where I say it's not.
So, and what the one thing which I think kind of gets overlooked with that level of analysis is the fact that if you look at the reverse angle from when Gyökeres is dribbling, Gyökeres hits it onto Pope's leg. It's not that Pope gets the first touch. And I think Saka and Arteta said it best at the end of the match. You know, VAR is meant to be used for clear and obvious errors, not to be re-refereeing decisions. The fact that it took 5 minutes to decide whether it was a penalty or not a penalty means they should have gone with the on-field decision, in my opinion. I think Jay Bothroyd today on Ref Watch with Dermot Gallagher basically said the same thing. Like, in most circumstances, it's a penalty. So I felt a lot for Gyökeres there because he's getting a lot of stick, and it would have been good if he got that pen and managed to kind of bury that. So it's overturned, and I just felt like, again, Arsenal carried knocking on the door. We had a good few shots. Pope made some good saves. Christian Mosquera gets a back pass, and he tries to back pass it out back to David Raya. Newcastle get a corner. They play it short, they swing it in, and Walter has a little nick on Gabriel, and then heads home. No.
Sorry to interject. Gabriel did fall like a pansy. Yeah. You got shot.
Gabriel should have been stronger there, and the only thing he could have done to avoid it going in the back of the net was to make it look like a foul. So yeah, I was disappointed in that. I was disappointed with Gabriel's reaction. He did kind of lash out at Altamada. However, saying that, again, that bad blood a couple of seasons ago, Bruno Guimaraes went in 2-footed on an Arsenal player, might not have been Jorginho, and then proceeds to go and whack Jorginho in the side of the skull, with no interjection from VAR at all. So maybe it's taken kind of 2 seasons to even itself out. And again, thankfully, nothing happened to Gabriel in terms of him being sent off at that point. So yeah, it felt like this kind of same old feeling, officials getting in the way of Arsenal almost making a bit of a big impact in this game. Again, it's kind of real sinking feeling of like, Arsenal going against the best defense in the league, going to St. James Park. Yeah, and again, we start the second half kind of poorly. Seems like Dawg's dropped out there. Maybe his internet's dropped. Dawg's back. I think I have to admit him 1 second.
I think he didn't like the referee moaning. That's what I want.
Fine. Even I got tired of all this showboating, this glazing. Yeah, for all the viewers, for all 5 of the viewers across the world watching this stream right now, there's more people that go to Jumba that are watching our pod, man. This guy has been unbearable for the last couple of days. Like literally, there's me having epiphanies at like 1 o'clock in the morning, thinking, "What's happening with my life? Will I get settled?" And then I get a message on my phone thinking, it must be the love of my life. And then it's just this one here trolling me. You scrub, you waste man. Your team's crap. Your team's this. Your team's that. He's this guy, man.
Anyway,
anyway.
The second half starts. Saliba comes off for Christian Mosquera, and Arsenal get a bit of a fortunate offside there because Walter was in again. Saliba kind of flaps at it, and again, thankfully from an Arsenal point of view, nothing happens. And what we were trying, to knock down that Newcastle defense. Newcastle being as rough as ever. I forgot to mention, Joe Linton's scathing tackle on Saka in the first minute. Lascelles clawing Gyökeres in the face in the 80th minute. Arteta becomes quite brave. He sticks with the plan to take Saka off after 70 minutes. He brings on Gabriel Martinelli. Merino comes on. Martin Odegaard comes on for Martin Zubimendi. Again, he's really, really going for it. He's making all the attacking substitutions that he can, kind of really throwing the kitchen sink at it. Arsenal play it short, and Mikel Merino, being as clutch as he ever is inside the box, heads home to make it 1-1. Neville in his commentary is like, title winners go on and win it here, and that's exactly what Arsenal go and do. And I have to say, man, like listening to audio back of Neville and his disappointment, and he's as soon as Gabriel heads home for the second goal, man, I tell you, man, it's so satisfying. And I literally went ballistic, man. I lost it in the house.
Gary Neville has been backing you guys for so long, so I don't know why you say it's satisfying. Like, you know what? When Gary Neville,
man, you could hear his disappointment.
No. When Gary Neville gets disappointed or annoyed with Arsenal, it's not because he hates Arsenal. It's because he actually wants them to put their money where their mouth is, which is what I've been saying to you for the last couple of weeks, which is why you've been trolling me. Look at his face. Look how annoyed he's getting. It's true though. Gary Neville knows what he's talking about. People don't like him. I like him. He's been called a melt one time on the live stream, which is hilarious. But
No.
he's been backing you guys for a long
It's
time.
pretty
No, no,
fair.
no, no.
He's pretty fair.
He-
For a
he-
United fan,
he-
he's pretty
he-
fair.
He says it to be like, well, look, the narrative is that, you know, Arsenal should have won it, but they haven't won it. He says it to make a point.
It's true though.
Yeah, but it's
The
true.
narrative-
It is true though. It is
Mm.
true. You're gonna get a lot of truth bombs today. Don't you worry about it. He's like, end the stream now. End the stream.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeremy, you broke up there, man. Say that again.
Nah, that's all good. No, you carry on. I interrupted your point.
You sounded like you were stuck in the Matrix. You went, no, no, you're cool.
Oh, did I?
By the way, Danyaal,
You're
Danyaal, can I just say, Danyaal, your beard does look a bit like a scarf, you know, for the neck. It looks quite warm. So yeah, very nice.
I'm just trying to get to your levels, dog. I'm trying to get to
My
your
levels, what? The fresh face, stung by a bee, overweight, podgy, seeping cream cheese from my cheeks, processed diet, that look, yeah? How are you feeling then? After Arsenal's win, do you feel a bit more confident, or do you feel like, I don't know, I mean, I'm looking at the table, you guys are still 2 points behind. It has been a close start. We knew Liverpool were bound to slip up at some point. It was obvious. We did say that a couple of weeks ago, that, you know, the luck is going to run out at some stage, and it has.
Yeah.
I mean, good on Arsenal for capitalising. I think the last 4 or 5 times they've met Newcastle, they've actually lost, unless I'm mistaken. Or so maybe it's these small
Not
wins,
exactly,
you
but
guys.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
You must feel pretty chuffed though, right?
Yeah, of course, man. Again, it could have been an 8-point gap between Liverpool and Arsenal, and thankfully it's only ended up with 2 points. And
Sure.
crucially, we've gone to Old Trafford and won. Obviously, we went to Anfield and lost. We've been to St James Park now and won. We've got City out of the way at home now. We have on paper, I say on paper, some winnable fixtures going forward, and we're not even in October yet. So it's teeing up quite nicely from an Arsenal perspective. Of course, this weekend Arsenal played West Ham, who recently West Ham, who recently sacked Graham Potter. The Graham Potter memes worked, the face swap memes worked, and they've installed Nuno Espirito Santo, who they just drew actually away from home 1-1 against David Moyes tonight.
Everton.
Quite interesting. I didn't watch the game, but that's quite interesting. Of course, whenever Arsenal are about to face a struggling team and struggling manager, there has to be a new manager bounce.
Yeah.
We had that slightly with facing Ange a couple of weeks ago, but thankfully we dispatched with Forest. So yeah, man.
What's the goal? Sorry, big Ange. Are you not entertained, mate?
So again, dog.
Do some damage, but no.
No, I just said that. I don't know if you remember expressions when he was having a bit of a rant. He's like, you know, scrub football. Are you not entertained, mate? Yeah, West Ham, innit? I'd love to see the West Ham fans try and say Nuno's full name. Brilliant, innit? You know, I could Nuno's Spanish panto, mate. You know what I mean? We don't need this striker. Do with David God. Do with David God. Oh, we're happy with the injury can't count. Use the donkey tag. I don't want to do anything. You say pause.
Anyway, dog. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. Look, it's a good result for you guys. Liverpool is like slip up.
Who Liverpool got on the weekend? I know you got Galatasaray midweek in Champions League.
Chelsea.
Is that away or at Anfield?
It's a good question. I'll need to check that. Yeah, good question.
But
yeah, either
way,
I think Chelsea, home or away, I'm not.
Yeah, I think
looking
Chelsea
forward to it.
I think Chelsea are at home.
Chelsea home?
Okay. I think Chelsea are at home. Obviously, I think Cole Palmer's out injured until the international break, so that will be to Liverpool's benefit.
To Brighton, didn't they? So they're not in the best of form either. But yeah, at the moment,
another sending off.
Who? Sorry.
Yeah, another sending off for Chelsea.
Oh yeah.
Happened last weekend. Yeah, Chalobah got sent off this weekend for professional foul.
Yeah.
Sanchez got sent off last weekend.
Sanchez.
Arguably, arguably, Malo Gusto could have been sent off as well for a kick in the head for it to be another penalty to Brighton. It didn't happen. I think the officials maybe had a bit of mercy on Chelsea at that point. Caicedo also lashed out in a bit of a scuffle, which was a bit more dubious, I'll admit. So yes, that's a very, very interesting tie between Chelsea and Liverpool.
There will be
on the weekend.
Yeah. And I think
what's your
defense needs to. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going. Let's go into predictions for that tie, Tamim. Like obviously you got that transfer midweek first, but let's go into Chelsea Liverpool first. What's your predictions?
If we're going to Premier League, we're going to the Chelsea game or Chelsea game. I think we'll have a better feeling against playing against Chelsea then, I'm sure. I feel like Chelsea will come at us a bit more, and that will suit us a bit more for sure. I think we'll have more space. Isaac, Chiesa, hopefully. I'd like to see more of Chiesa. Even Salah. Yeah, I'd like to see him, a bit more from Salah as well. And maybe Wirtz. Yeah, I think they'll thrive on the space. Whereas Palace were, kept it very tight at the back, very much on the counter. And I think Chelsea will come to the game doing that slightly, but less so than Palace. I think they'll try and get the ball, try and be on the front foot and try and impose their game on us. So I think 2-1 to us. My prediction is 2-1 to us. We're still going to concede. Our defense needs fixing up. And just really hope that Leone injury.
I was shocking on the weekend, man.
Konate is not looking good.
Yeah,
I think
he got run ragged by Mateta.
Yeah, he was.
I'm gonna predict. Mresca's a bit under fire as well now. He's lost a few games in a row. I'm gonna predict a 2-2. It might be a bit of hopium rather than that, like head of a heart. No, sorry, heart of a head probably. But I'm going to predict a 2-2. But yeah, there's always goals in Chelsea versus Liverpool. It's always quite hot blooded. It's a quite interesting tie. What's your prediction, Dog?
Liverpool win 2-0.
Oh, okay.
But I think it'll be kind of a stalemate at halftime. And I think second half, Liverpool will get a couple of chances. So there'll be a bit of a panic in the disco in the first half. Tamim will obviously be a bit concerned, but I reckon Liverpool will sneak it. If you're saying Cole Palmer's not playing, that'll be a big factor as well. So yeah, I'll say 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, again, my head is saying 2-1 Liverpool, heart saying 2-2. But let's see. Arsenal, West Ham. I predicted 3-1 win for Arsenal.
Arsenal home.
I don't know. Like I see us getting a bit of a scare, a bit like last season, like Bowen getting a goal in the counter or something like that. And then I think now with the quality that we have with Eze that being there, Ødegaard being back, hopefully Ethan Ranieri being available as well, just a bit more quality on the pitch. Like when we faced West Ham in February, I think we had a front three of Mikel Merino, Trossard and Sterling or something like that. So quite a weak front three, but we're missing so many players. Thankfully, Saka's back now. I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. I'm going to be abroad, so I can't be in the stadium, unfortunately. But hopefully, we come away with the points.
There you go, bro.
Let's talk about United. So I predicted United win. United were full on with the stats in terms of shots on target. Thiago comes away. I was watching that game. Thiago comes away with 2 goals. It's 2-0 Brentford, but by the beginning of the first half, Sesko pulls it back to make it 2-1. Dawg, as a United fan, what's your feelings on the game? Did you watch it live? Did you watch the highlights?
Typical United fan based in London, yeah. I did see the highlights. Honestly, like I said last week, man, it's just I don't know where this team's going. So honestly, sometimes it feels like they're being led by Stevie Wonder. No clue, directionless. They have no idea where they're going. And let's be honest, man. Like, United has these highs, and then they have these immediate lows. That win against Chelsea was a fluke. I knew this was going to happen against Brentford, because I knew that Brentford were probably going to hold the fort. And yeah, and plus, didn't Bruno miss a penalty? I did, didn't I? I did say.
Yeah, you did predict it. I mean, in fairness to Bruno, so Brentford were quite cheeky, and I did think that Nathan Collins should have been sent off. For me, it was Dogzo. It was Denial was clear goal scoring opportunity, and then Brentford were quite cheeky in that they made like 2 or 3 substitutions. So it meant that there was a massive delay before Fernandes could take his pen.
That's just background noise, honestly. Like, with all due respect, Bruno's a wonderful player. He's a lone soldier, but I can remember more of his misses at crucial moments than I can actually the penalties that he scored. I'm probably being a bit harsh.
That is very harsh.
It's just I know he scores a lot of penalties, but then I just realize sometimes when there's like up against it, he does miss them. But look, that's just me being overtly harsh. This team's lost. Who are they playing next? I don't even know. Are they up against
Sunderland at home?
Yeah, so Sunderland they'll win 1-0 or it'll be a draw. It'll be a 0-0 draw, and he'll be under more pressure. Like, look, I think Amarin is unfair because he has been given a poison chalice. I'm not going to say he's a bad manager, but I just don't know where this club's going. It's in free fall, and I hate the fact that every single time United win a game, oh my God, United might be back, this, that, and then when they lose, they act all surprised. The club is directionless. They've got no control. So I'm telling you, next game against Sunderland, it will either be 1-0 or 0-0. And then some United fans are going to be like, oh yeah, Amarin saved his job, but it's the same old rubbish. And even if Graham Potter comes in, if he does come in, it ain't going to mean anything. I do think it's unfair on Amarin in the sense that if you time when he came in last year to where he is now, technically he hasn't even done a full season, but there's so much expectation. My problem is I don't know what they want from Man United right now. Do they want them to be competing for top 4, or do they want them to be competing for the Premier League? And it's just there's complete confusion. United needs to acknowledge the fact that they're not the team that won the Premier League and the Champions League all those years ago. They've become a mid-tier table, crew, whatever you want to call it. They need to establish some sort of foundation. As much as I
15th last year. Don't forget. United finished 15th last year.
Yeah, and as much as I hate Arsenal, and I do hate Arsenal for those of you watching, all 5 of you, I hate Arsenal with a passion. The connection's not buffering. I hate Arsenal, but I have to admire the Arteta project. Yeah, it hasn't yielded results like a trophy, which it should have, and let's be honest, it should, the way it's going. But I love how he's actually coming with a philosophy. He's tried it. They've backed him. They're never going to do that with United. They're turning into a more impatient version of Chelsea.
Crucially, I think that the main difference with kind of Arteta's opening reign at Arsenal and Amarin's, Arteta showed a willingness to change his philosophy. He went with a back 5 initially to win that first FA Cup. He had Maitland-Niles at left wing back. So he realized he couldn't play the style that he wanted to play with the players that he had, and he adapted. And it's one thing that Amarim is unwilling to do.
But then, that's a fair point. But then I think this is where we have to admit one thing. I don't think United has the same level of patience as Arsenal does. Like, with all due respect, Arsenal for such a long time has always been like a top 4 club. They haven't won anything in a while. So now that a manager's been presented to Arsenal that says, look, we can actually push for titles, you've seen the club back him and say, fine, we're going to trust the process, we're going to actually trust whatever you believe in. With United, it's almost panic mode ever since Ferguson's left, that, oh my God, we haven't won a Premier League in 12 years. We're losing our best team status. I can tell you this now. Amorim, if he came to Arsenal, would do an exceptional job. If he went to Chelsea, he'll do an exceptional job. I just feel that United is just clueless as a club. He's unfortunately playing every game as if it's his last, or managing every game as his last. And it's their own fault. They're headless chickens, You have to give credit to Arsenal for how they've managed things. And that's why I always come back to that point. Unless Arsenal win something, it'll be a real shame,
Yeah. Well, we've made a difference now in terms of that leads that Liverpool were building. It's blown the doors wide open, so to speak. And yeah, we're in the thick of the season now. 3 games a week,
good.
Champions League ties. You're all right, Tamim.
Sorry, Danyaal. I think there's like I'm not sure if it's my mic from the headphones. I think there's a bit of a delay on because I'm saying things, but I think it's reaching you a little bit later. So apologies.
That's what happens when you buy
for both of you.
Yeah, stop buying your headphones from Dagenham Market, bro. Buy the authentic ones, yeah. Buy Sony, not Sony. Yeah?
I'll go to barking instead.
Like, stop nicking your neighbour's Wi-Fi, Tamim, like a scouser.
Listen, man, I wear the badge proudly. I wear it proudly.
Your next door neighbor's like, can't fish, honey. Why is our usage gone up the roof for? What are you streaming? He's like, I'm not doing anything. And then they can hear you next door. Oh yeah, Liverpool's doing really well,
This could be a marriage breaker, man.
Next day you see Cowfish come out with his suitcases, isn't it? I didn't use the internet. You're like, oh shit. Anyway, back to football. And then you cut your window, he has his clothes being chucked out. That's what happens. Sorry, back to football, bro. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm sorry.
It's a tough world out there.
Anyway, I think that's probably a good place to knock this on its head. United Sunderland, I predict a 1-1 or 2-1. Again, Man United's defense is really, really poor. And Sunderland are playing really, really well at the moment. I think Granit Xhaka has some of the most assists in the league.
He's doing really well,
surprisingly. So it'll be a tough match for Man United. Again, they're expected to go there, especially being at home, and win. So let's see.
Tamim, what's your prediction for the United game?
I think Sunderland win it. I'm going 1-0 to Sunderland.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm telling you.
They're looking good.
It's going to be...
Sunderland are pushing for Champions League, man.
I'm telling you now, it's going to be one of those days at Old Trafford. It'll be raining. It'll be wet. There'll be groans in the crowd. Amorim will be lucky to survive up to December, January time. But, the way things are going with that club, absolute scrubs,
Yeah. You do right against Man City. You somehow beat Man City, but then, come to a Brentford or a Sunderland or a, I was going to say Crystal Palace, but we can't even beat them. But, any team. Yeah.
They lost this season, Tamim. They lost this season. Again, it did take a world-class save from Donnarumma, but
Tamim, go to Google. Go to Google and look up the word fluke. That's what it was, United. Fluke. It's all a fluke. Okay, sorry.
I think again, I was going to make the point. Graham Potter has been linked with the United job. But funnily enough, but before they hired Ruben Amorim, they were linked with Gareth Southgate.
Bro, no, forget Graham Potter. Man United needs Harry Potter, bro. What are you talking about? They need magic. They need magic at that club, bro. What was this, man? Graham Potter. Seriously, man. It's ridiculous. That club's finished, I'm telling you. You cannot sit there and tell me that Vanguard, Mourinho, Ten Hag, you can't tell me that they're bad managers. What is Graham Potter going to do? No, what? Gareth Southgate, I wouldn't have minded if they had kept someone like Garnacho and Højlund inside. The fact that they've gotten rid of all these young players annoys me, But yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, there's deep systemic issues there. Deep issues at Man United.
Deep systemic. What are you? Do you work in public policy? What kind of comment is that?
Am I wrong though? Am I wrong? There are deep issues at Man United. I'm
You're
right. Of course, vote for me.
You almost killed Dog there with.
I know. Jeez, sorry, Dog. Sorry.
Drinking with water.
Yeah.
All right, lads. It's been a pleasure as ever. I'm still buzzing over that last minute winner. I see how Liverpool kind of got addicted to them over the last six weeks or so.
Yeah.
They are fun when it happens.
Good feeling.
Two, and obviously the fact that Eddie got that last minute win against you lot, we can claim it as one of our own. Made in Hale End, delivered for the Arsenal. All right, boys. Let's leave it there, and we'll try and catch up next week. We've got Champions League football in midweek, and then, as we mentioned, Arsenal West Ham on the weekend, Man United Sunderland, and Chelsea versus Liverpool. And hopefully we can catch up on all those fixtures and more.
Sounds good.
Following weekend.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to all our listeners.
Thanks
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in, to especially some of our giddy nonsense that has been on this stream tonight.
And our thoughts and prayers are with you, Kalpesh. We hope you get your internet fixed as well. Don't know why your usage has gone up the roof.
Take it easy,
Thank
guys.
you, Kalpesh. Good evening, everyone.
And up the Arsenal.
Up the what?
Yeah,